Hello everybody and welcome to this build sprue review for the Stahltruppen for Konflikt 47 for the Axis powers. Going to be an interesting little kit, 3 per sprue. We talk about that throughout the video, show you one getting built under camera and show you a unit formation up there and discuss the quality of the kit and the end result as a whole. But let's not dilly-dally around it, let's get stuck in. So here we have the sprue for the Stahltruppen, and as you can see, this one sprue builds 3 models. So there are options in here because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of legs. So there's one optional in there, but we do have, yep, we do, it's 3. So 3 torso fronts, 3 torso backs, and all our weapons in there. So we have our standard weapons, we have our 37mm anti-tank gun down there, and some shoulder-mounted anti-tank weapons, because what's better than the Panzerfaust? Well, an automatic one you can clamp to your shoulder, apparently. So what I'm going to do in this one is clip out the parts for a guy here with a MG, I believe they call it, this is a medium machine gun, that under one arm, and then just this pairing actually, because when you see on these sprues, most of these arms have the paired arm next to them, so we might even do this pair down here, this sort of pointing one. But all in all, a very tidy sprue. I like that because they have a bigger base size, that the bases are just attached to the end of that sprue. That makes that nice and handy for us. So we have everything we need to build our 3 guys. So let's pick out some components here. So we'll take our pointy arm, and we'll take this one with the MG on it as well. We'll just make a pair out of that. And then once we have this built, we can show the 3 completed. We'll show 3 guys done. We'll do that. And the way I like to do this is just make sure I have all the components. So there's a torso back and a torso front. Just make sure everything is out there. So initially my thoughts are that the sprue layout is pretty straightforward. As I've said previously, I don't have build manuals for these to hand. So with a lot of this Warlord infantry, it really is kind of just pick and plug and play, really. Particularly on these guys, because there's not a lot of things you can add to them. There's not a lot of, well, there's no open hands or anything like that. It's all just everyone's carrying their weapons. Everyone's carrying all the equipment that you want. We have stuff down here like a reloading arm and a arm with a knife. But apart from that, everything's pretty straightforward. We'll pick a set of legs. I think we'll do these walking forward ones here and do it that way. We also need one of these torso front plates, like that. And then I will pick a helm at random. I think one with the little antennas are always a good shout. I believe that's everything we need for one guy, at least, unless we want to put a Panzerfaust on the shoulder, but we're not going to do that this time. So here's our little pile of bits. So we have torso back, torso front armor, helmet, 2 arms, and legs. That's basically it. There's not a lot to it. So what we're going to do is we need to clip out a base as well. Apparently being left-handed makes this awkward. I think it does too, but you know. Then I'm going to bring in my little stand and press that down on the base onto it so we can immediately start on it. I just need to readjust the camera that I have over here, and then we can start building. So now we need to get our glue, and the glue I'm using is Tamiya Extra Thin. Of course, other plastic glues are available, but I do enjoy using this stuff. So what I'm going to do first is take our legs, apply some glue to the bottom of that foot. It's the only contact point on the base. And to do this, we take the end of my hobby knife and just press. Just find out where that sits squarely, and then just hold it for a few seconds. The extra thin tends to dry quite quick, so it goes from being kind of slidey on the base to rigid fairly quickly.
While that's setting, we can take our torso halves and apply a little bit of glue to there, just around that edge a little bit. And then press the two halves together. And what you can see here is we need to make sure those are equal. That's one thing I will say about this kit, isn't there isn't any pegs and holes for it to slot in and lock together a little bit, so that you just make sure that this is level as best you can. You can even see here it's still down on one side there at the front. That's the only detractor of this kit I found so far, is that this needed a bit more keys and slots to lock it in a bit tighter. Now, we don't glue the armor front on yet. We do put the arms on next. So the arms have a massive join point, and it is basically this key notch up here, and then practically this whole area here is potential contact point. So we take our machine gun arm and place it like so. They really only can go the way the slot is designed to take the part, which is fine. Then on the other side, we'll do the same. I don't mind over gluing this just to make sure that anything that is touching the arm is getting some attention from the glue. So just hold that for a few seconds just to make sure that's nice and tight and the parts aren't too wobbly. That's fine. Now we bring our torso back in. I just need to adjust my camera a little bit more because he is a little taller than I'd set for. On the waist, we'll put a layer of glue there. Again, just making sure we have plenty of contact point. And then you'll see on the bottom of the torso, there's a little slot cut out there at the front. That corresponds to a little triangle shape on the front of the hips. You can see that's a little bit wobbly still, the glue hasn't quite set. And just make sure that I think all the spacing looks fine there at the back too. That's basically it. Then we glue the head in, so we'll just put some into that depression there in the middle. And because he's pointing, we will drop the head in and then use the edge of my blade to sort of rotate it and cock it over a little bit too. I think that looks all right. Make sure that's still nice and steady. And then finally, we can glue that front armor on. I don't think it makes a huge difference if you don't glue this on first, but I like having this bit more open area to play with. And that basically just sits on like that. So pretty fast, as you can see. That didn't take long at all, and it won't take long to build all three of them. I think there isn't too many mold lines on this kit. I think the Fireflies suffer a bit more from that just because of the more organic shape of the cloth on the uniform. You can see a little bit here on the side of the leg, but because it's a nice flat surface, it won't be too hard to just take a knife and just scrape that away. But all in all, pretty simple. Nice detail in there as well. Pretty simple to build, quite quick to build. So if you've got a lot of these, it really doesn't take any time at all. So what I'll do is reset the camera and show you a full unit build. So here we have 1 sprue's worth of Stahltruppen, and we have various weapons in here. Let me just get a knife here to point. And you can see we have our MG here. We have our standard, I believe it's some sort of automatic weapon of some sort, I don't know, with a Panzerfaust on the shoulder, and then we have our small anti-tank gun over here as well. This is probably just as simple as the others. It does have a few more parts in it because you have the shield separate and this little ammunition magazine separate as well. Initially I didn't know where that was going, but I looked at some photos of the painted stuff on the Warlord website and just seen where it lined up and then figured out what the key in the slot was for that. These are pretty simple kits to build, pretty fast, and what you get is a nice heavy looking guy, plenty of armor, plenty of detail there for your painting. Or if you want to just speed paint it, there's tons of options in there just to speed paint it, chuck some color on, get it down and table ready. I like the posing. I like that there's not, to a degree, there's not a lot of options in there for posing, but in reality, these guys are wearing like, you know, quarter ton, half ton of armor. They're not going to be very mobile, but they are certainly going to be packing a good punch. And if you have 6 or 9 of these, they're just going to look very impressive on the table in general. That said, this was a very easy, nice, pleasant experience with this kit. I think a lot of Warlords designers really do deserve a pat on the back for these, because this and the Firefly kits, as far as infantry goes, are some of the easiest to build I've seen in a while coming out of Warlord. So, with that all said and done, let me know in the comments what you think. Tell me if this format is something you enjoy and you want to see more of it, and let me know what you think about the kits down below as well. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, take care, stay safe, and see you again very soon.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now, and while you're at it, why not hit subscribe, and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it, go on.